So hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking on a really special topic, which is called the social media detox and social media addiction. So I think it is so underrated. Most of us don't even know how badly addicted we are to social media, and how I was led to this was there was this one night I was taking up an online masterclass really late. This was regarding some spiritual healing class that I was taking, and my brother, who lives in Australia, saw me online post that and posting about the class. So he had before this incident subtly mentioned it to me 2-3 times that he stays worried that I'm so much on social media and I'm becoming an addict. And I would never listen to him. I would always justify saying, I'm learning things and it's productive for me, all of those things, all of those excuses. And until I went on this 2 days of social media detox, I would like to how that started for me was that I turned off my notifications on Facebook. I logged out of Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. And for me, I had so many notifications turned on with different pages that I was following that I would have a notification almost every minute or two. And that's how busy my life was. Most of us, we're so addicted to social media that we don't even realize this is an addiction which is holding us back in ways that we don't understand. It's stopping us from doing things, achieving goals, being who we are meant to be, unless we're checked on by our loved ones. So for me, the first realization was that the first place of complaining kind of subsided, where I would constantly complain about not having time, because I was substituting my important time, the most important time that I had to, kind of work out and achieve goals, real life goals, I would spend on social media. And I feel that's where our major anxiety also arises. When we feel we're not doing enough, and we need to, no matter how much we do, no matter how much we achieve, we always feel like we are ending up nowhere, because most of the times we're living somebody else's dreams. We're trying to accomplish the goals that aren't even ours, that's not even our soul calling. And when we're not doing who we are meant to be in this world, what we are meant to do in this world, that is when we always feel drained out. And when you're drained out mentally, obviously there is no physical activity that can be done. I think social media is bad, but I feel with huge success comes huge responsibility. And the fact that we're graced, the influencers that we're graced with such a huge platform where we can influence lives to become better or feel worse about themselves. It's really important that we be more realistic and vulnerable about who we are, and the downfalls that we have. What does it take us to get to the success that where we are at, the platforms that we are at, because it's a series of failures. Success is a series of failures. And unless and until we start being vulnerable and realistic, we're not inspiring people. We're just making them feel like they're missing out. And that is one more thing that really, really leads people into depression. And we're constantly talking about self-love, whereas that is something we lack the most, because most of our times goes in seeing what other people are doing. We prioritize our lives so much lesser than their lives. We're so interested, our priority lies more in escaping our current situation and binging on social media, or food, alcohol, all of those things. So if your focus is not you and it's somebody else all the time, how are you going to build self-love? Coming back to myself, I had started living so much in the opinion of others, and I'd started seeking validation from outside much more than I would usually, because that's what I think it does to you. And I'd stopped my identity was for a while based on the fact that how many likes am I getting, how many comments are coming through. Okay, this post is not good enough, even though I felt it was good enough, because there are not enough comments, certain people have not liked them. So that is when you're slipping away. So basically I was surviving, whereas I wanted to thrive. And all that I was reading up on social media, I'm not saying wasn't helpful, but what is the most important is that you go back and connect with yourself. because your inner self, your higher self is always trying to talk to you, and we're always looking for answers outside. So that is a huge part of escapism. So going back to the conversation with my brother, he told me very clearly. He's like, the legends you follow, if you want to become a legend, and the legends you follow, you think they have so much time for social media? They create contents for fools like you to constantly stay on social media. So being on social media is not bad, but it does not have to rule your life. You have to decide, these are the few hours I will be on social media. This is my time. And that's where you create a balance. This is another thing that he told me and I did not know about. He's like, what are smartphones? Smartphones are the phones that if you click on a particular post and it's trending or whatever, if you have a particular interest, suppose you start reading quotes or following makeup or sports or news channels, that is exactly what would keep popping on your feed. And for me, for a spiritual person like me, I would think, okay, this is a sign. I'm getting these signs again and again. So that always again led me to looking outside for answers, and I was missing out on the connection with myself. And then he also told me about this show Jungle, as some of you must have seen. It's with these high profile celebrities. They go in and they have this time to totally disconnect from social media, go within and connect with themselves, and they come out as different people, because your real power lies within. And that's what we're avoiding most of the time. On a daily basis, time flies. It just goes past. It may seem like every day is the same day. But yes, time is passing on very swiftly. But the stillness within has a lot to tell you, a lot to teach you, a lot, and we're so busy seeking that we barely allow. It is so important to allow our answers, allow our life to unfold, allow for situations to resolve, allow for things to happen. I'm not saying action is not important, but we're so busy doing and seeking that we forget to allow, and we forget being. We've literally forgotten that we're human beings, not human doings. So I think that pretty much explains everything. So another beautiful thing my brother told me was that he wants to learn from the physical world around him, not because when you learn from experiences, that is something which becomes wisdom. That's something you've discovered. And what we read up all the time is knowledge. And if we don't apply that in all or big changes in our lives. So suddenly I felt I had a lot of time, and all those tasks in my physical world that I'd been avoiding, I started to get on with them. And really, I felt like there is so much time. There's so much time to be productive. There is so much silence within. There is so much peace within. There's so much serenity. I had so much more energy and clarity. It was amazing. I connected and starting with day one. I actually took notes, so I'm going to be flipping around, seeing my pointers and discussing them with you. My screen time usually went up to 5.5, 6 hours. So in the new iPhone, if you use it tells you about your screen time. Screen time also means how long you're on a call or messages or whatever, not just social media. And the first day my progress was pretty great. My screen time came down to 2.21 hours, and 2 hours 21 minutes. I turned off my Instagram, Facebook notifications. I felt so much lighter. I barely went online. I did the important stuff and got off. But there were times I completely forgot I'm on a detox. So I'd go and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have to go back. And I wanted to story about the new Nika store in Jalandhar because I'd gone for a movie with my family. And I totally, missed that. I was like, it's okay. I definitely felt more clarity, more connection with myself, more connection with the people around me. And a sudden feeling of gratitude rushed in. I started being grateful about things I wouldn't even consider that were my blessings. And I was more present in my reality. And I suddenly became so much more productive because I had so much mental energy, which otherwise I'd drain on social media. So now comes day 2. I've been trying to fix my sleeping pattern for forever. Because as a makeup artist and a freelancer, this entire season, wedding season, goes by and you barely get sleep because you're always on the go and you have early morning brides, late night travels, and days of sleep. Days go by with sleepless nights. So I started overvaluing my sleep, and so the day two, what changed was my sleeping pattern. I woke up at 7:30 in the morning, and that is something I'd been trying to work on for forever. What led to that was because I woke up fresh. I woke up literally detox. I never thought social media detox is actually a detox. I thought it was just food and your other addictive behaviors, but really my anxiety and ongoing thoughts about I have to get something done. So I was worrying less, and this one feeling which really stays in me all the time is that I have to rush somewhere. But I actually told myself, where am I going? It's important to meet your goal. Physical energy was going into the fact that I have to do this, that I literally barely got anything done, and that's exactly something that I changed. It's something that I put a light on awareness. Light, it just kind of turned on that bulb of awareness, which helped me manage my time better until today. Every time this feeling would pop, I would just check myself and get myself back to my center, putting away all the right things. And first thing first, I started doing things which were right for me, my time. I came into a proper routine, which was my biggest challenge. And we don't understand, but how slowly and steadily social media addiction can completely throw us off our routines and put us in a mode of procrastination. Procrastination is so evident when you're constantly mentally working but you're physically stagnant, that it eats up so much of your mental energy and time. Once again, I know I'm repeating that, but that kind of correlates to every aspect I'm touching on. That it leaves very little energy for physical activity. So also, second day, almost half day through, when I was really really tempted to go back on social media and look up a few pages and read up some material and everything that would bring me back on social media, I literally felt I was missing out. And then I realized eventually that I wasn't really missing out on anything, because I had started seeking within, and that's what the actual work is. That's where all your answers lie. Also stay up really late at night telling myself I'll sleep on time today, but if there's something interesting I found on social media, I'd just be on it and binge for so long that I wouldn't wake up on time. Now, the repercussions of not waking up on time. If you're not waking up on time, you're not following a morning routine, which is got to be the most powerful time of your day. You meditate, you exercise, you reflect, you read up important material, which is going to set the tone for your day. And I wanted to do all that. So even if I was sleeping through the most important hours of my morning, I would wake up and still catch up on all these things, but in a rush. That's why I always felt all day that I have to rush. Again, rushing so much but getting to nowhere. And then, of course, eventually from my to-do list, I would end up missing on some of my most important tasks, because I wanted to get the smaller tasks done first, which would throw me off the most important things, and I would have the most dissatisfactory day. I'd be running, and then that kind of led to constant guilt and shame and beating of the self and lack of self-love and confidence. I tell you, it's such a spiral, it is such a cycle, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this. So waking up early had and have had the time to chant and connect with and tap my highest potential each day, followed by reading something about my mentor, made me have a stronger connection with him. I always practiced Buddhism very well, but my study was always lagging behind because I did not have enough time to study what I needed to study. So that is something again I caught up on. I'm sure not everyone who's going to be watching the video is a Buddhism practitioner, but this practice of Buddhism is about faith, practice, and study. It's these three pillars which help you live a life of dignity and a complete life. And Even if the study is lacking, then your faith cannot sustain for too long, and then the practice goes low. So that was the cycle I was constantly living in, and again feeling dissatisfied with my practice also, although I was chanting a lot, and even trying to practice and attend meetings and do my home visits, but I still feel something is missing. So that the most important factor was study, which I caught up on, which made me feel really good. So, this would be followed up by, strong meditation by Tony Robbins, which would amp up my day and help me have a peak performance and literally get me to making my videos. And I've been meaning to make videos for the longest time, but again, when you're in a rush and when you're feeling anxiety all the time, you're running in guilt and shame, and you're on an airplane mode, autopilot mode, sorry, that's not the time you can literally be productive really about anything, especially something which is videos where you're trying to convey a message. So I think all of this led me to my biggest breakthrough, which was me starting my videos. And I thought, why not the first video be this social media detox? I always thought it was the consumption of unhealthy food which lowers your productivity, but no, it is the people you interact with, it's the information you take in, it's what you do, it's social media. All of that leads to you making the choices that you make and you having the life and the results, because it's those choices that are bringing about the results that we're living today, right? Recently, I took up this brilliant course called The Landmark, in which I attended the forum and the advanced course. So it was such a brilliant course, and it literally burst open my life like a movie in front of me, my entire life. So it was pretty powerful. It was just a 3 days course, but what it did to me was amazing. And I also discovered those parts of me which I did not know existed in my life as limitations, as core beliefs which wouldn't make me, kind of move forward in my life. And they were literally stuck at my deepest cause, those beliefs. So I was ashamed to talk about that all my life, and I was scared to be seen, and for what I felt very, very deeply. And as someone who's not good enough, this was my deepest belief. And my self-worth never increased based on these things I did, nothing, like no postings, no amount of likes, no amount of comments, no amount of looking good, no amount of doing good, no amount of good career, no amount of success, nothing made me feel good. And after Landmark, what really opened up was, self-expression, freedom, and I started feeling powerful. And honestly speaking, I tried to make these videos a lot of times, but I was always camera conscious. This one clipping I would repeat, and that never helped me bring my real self on the forefront. None of you would have connected to me. I did not feel I was being vulnerable, So that is something I've opened up to, being vulnerable, and I think it is only and only strength. I found a lot of joy in being, powerful and authentic. And the realization I had after I dive back after those 2 days of detox into social media was, I'm again starting to lose my power. I'm again starting to lose my authenticity. I'm again starting to lose my vulnerability. So that's one more thing which led me to make my video. And I'm going to constantly make my videos so that I can put my real self out there and, help whosoever I can through my experiences, and really, really create value. That's my motto. Through these videos, I can be more of myself. I can share my deepest truth. I can, I feel like I bear my true self in front of you, and not let any of those limitations hold me back. Those social media limitations, and truly use social media to my benefit and the benefit of others. I was at the Landmark advanced course. I had a brilliant coach, Gurmeet, leading the seminar, and he halfway through the first day called me a fake, in my interaction with him, when I did not finish the homework as per the way it was meant to be done. I was so upset, and I was like, my God, I was upset at the deepest level. I was angry and extremely hurt that he pointed me out the hurt that was lying in my life since my childhood for years. He unmasked me my fake mask. What was my face mask? That I am fine. Where deep down I felt that urge and rumbling inviting me to be the true me from a place I never knew I was masking myself. So I hope many of you can relate to this. And this has been a great discovery, you know. Grateful for that day, truly. And I hope all of us can really take from this and see where all we've been masking ourselves, our true selves, who we really, really are. And now I realize it's more of a lifestyle that remains not of our own when we're trying so hard to make everything look more than perfect on social media. We want to maintain a standard, and anything beneath that is hidden by us. Isn't it so true? As long as we're not accepting the good and the bad, the dark and the light in us, how we're going to feel whole and complete? It's our resistance which makes everything more difficult. So then I slept off on my second day. The next day I was supposed to be on social media, but that night at 3 a.m. I woke up, and again it was as if the universe was talking to me. I have like these crazy epiphanies, and it's beautiful, I've written it, and I'm going to share it with you all. And all this while I've been thinking I'm not good enough. The truth that I realized is that I'm overqualified. And my only sadness rooted in the fact that I've been smaller than I've called to be. I've been playing smaller than I've called to be. That's my only sadness. Because when I do what I'm here for, I feel alive. Because I'm meant for greatness, and that's what I've been denying myself the most of. Everywhere I feel I need more learning, changing, etc. In truth, I just need more acceptance of who I truly am. And that is an infinitely powerful being, which I do not see beneath the mist of superficiality that doesn't even matter, to be honest. My only non-acceptance to my truth is what is keeping me unhappy, small, and dissatisfied. This revelation couldn't have come from the outside, because no one can make you feel powerful and great unless you choose to see it within you. I was always seeking validation, approval, rather than permission to be the fantastic human being that I am. Trying to fit myself into smaller roles, boxes, places, and peoples and lives has been the biggest dishonor I've shown myself. Of course, I didn't see myself there because I never belonged there, and I thought I'm not enough. Wow, this change in perspective has opened a whole new world of possibilities and being for me. I wonder what else is possible. So, this is the greatest revelation that I had by staying 2 days off social media. I hope you really, really can take from this and understand it is so important every now to disconnect. And even if you cannot, and if you have your businesses running on social media, for a day, give it to your hand. Trust them to handle it for you, and you know what? You come back so much more powerful, so much more rejuvenated, so much more productive if you take these breaks and you feel aligned and connected with yourself, and that's your superpower. So I hope we all can take something from this, and I really, really hope that in me being vulnerable and sharing my experience, it opens up new worlds for